Welcome to the book review of great books, where each page is a gateway to the world of knowledge and the soul, where we search and discover the true values in life together, and find a better version of ourselves. If you are also on a spiritual development journey, or you're still hesitant about how to start, then The Power of Now is a book you should read. This book has influenced millions, and I hope you will be one of them. So how do you begin a spiritual awakening? This book introduces a very important concept, the little ego. What is the little ego? It exists through your thoughts, awareness, emotions, the things you judge as right and wrong, good and bad, a subconscious existence that you mistakenly believe to be yourself. The little ego is constantly thinking, planning, criticizing, worrying, getting excited, or feeling sad. For the ego, the present moment hardly exists. Only the past and future are important. Most of us are governed by the ego, lost in thoughts, and unable to distinguish between reality and our perspectives. The author states that the ego is a master of selective perception and distorted understanding. This is the source of all suffering and the origin of all conflicts, wars, violence, and misery in the world. The ego makes us believe we are different from others. We feel the need to possess more to demonstrate our power, and we think we need to use violence to control others to protect ourselves from harm. There is not only the personal ego but also the collective ego. We believe we belong to a special group, distinct from other groups, leading to more violent and ruthless behaviors through labeling and unconscious actions. These actions lead to a mindset where we are right and others are wrong. We are the standard and superior. All of these arise from thoughts, ignorance, and the subconscious. Destructive actions without conscience towards non-human species, and even the harm inflicted on each other among humans, are also ego-driven. The first step towards awakening is to break free from the narrow identity of thought. The subconscious is the identification with your thoughts and emotions, assuming that your words, attire, and actions define your identity, that you are superior or a victim, that you are your emotions. But in reality, that is not true. You connect with everything closely, symbiotically evolving. Previously, in meditation videos, I introduced the concept of the observer. The book also mentions the observer, being aware of who is thinking or meditating, as the author says, who can't stand themselves anymore. If you can recognize that you're thinking, you're suffering, then who is actually suffering? When you have these questions, you've started transforming. The initial step to liberating from thoughts is to realize that you are not a thinking entity. This doesn't mean you cease to exist when you stop thinking. In fact, when you stop thinking, your true essence begins to emerge. You are more than just this body. The subconscious state controlled by the ego is because the observer has been concealed by you. Continuous thinking causes you to identify with this thing, reject that thing. That's the way the ego survives. Otherwise, you wouldn't have reasons to distinguish yourself from others, to make yourself stand out, or to hate someone. Who can sell you things you don't need? The awakening starts when you invite the observer or become silent, acknowledging the presence of the observer, surpassing the dualistic mind, no longer differentiating, surpassing material attributes. We often unconsciously chase after many things to satisfy the ego, continuously possessing, creating conflicts, yet still feeling emptiness. It's like an addiction. Even though we experience peak joy, we'll eventually face intense pain. Because in reality, you don't need the external world to validate your identity, nor do you label anyone. There is no singular me that exists. Within us, an aspect in the non-dualistic dimension cannot exist independently. Without ugliness, there can't be beauty. Without wrong, there can't be right. Without me, there can't be you. All of these are standards we define. In the video about time, I stated that time doesn't exist. Time is the root of suffering. The sages say we are eternal beings. Eternity actually refers to a state without time, where everything happens in the present. We are a unified entity, only temporarily separated by the illusion of the body. Each of us comes into this world with unique functions and roles, or in other words, with our talents and capabilities. You need to recognize who is playing this role. But most of us can't perceive clearly, often bound by roles, mistakenly believing that's all we are. It's because the ego possesses us, various thoughts, overshadowed by this identity. We get lost in the role-playing when others agree or disagree with us, causing suffering, because it only leads to more separation and desire. Like in a game, unable to distinguish between reality and illusion. If we realize that the past and future are mere illusions, only the present is real, then the ego cannot control you. What controls you are the past and future illusions, personal and collective awareness, negative emotions along with selfish behaviors. If there's only this moment, only the present, you can decide who you want to be. Not your past, not the future you imagine, but the present moment. Returning to the past doesn't help you find yourself. You can only find yourself in this very moment of being. You suffer because you identify yourself with your experiences and identity, not realizing you are merely experiencing the event, while also being the observer. Everything happening has its own meaning but cannot represent your true self. The way you interpret events is the ego's way to control you. Therefore, become conscious, approach everything from the observer's perspective, accept, acknowledge without criticism or immersion. You will find peace and transcend the events, connecting to your true self, eternally existing, peaceful and filled with love. If you complain, hate, seek revenge or harm, it can harm both sides. Only forgiveness and love can save you, but it requires you to maintain awareness since your ego constantly arises various emotions and thoughts and you can be controlled instantly. Sometimes, you don't need to do anything, think anything, just stay silent to feel. Clear belief is genuine understanding. Don't seek presence and recognition in the ego because they can't represent you. Your true nature transcends all of this. Anything external is changing, so your thoughts change accordingly, creating an endless search for safety. It's challenging to achieve what's impossible. The true inner identity within you is unchanging. It's the only thing you need to seek. Other things are tools to discern what's not you, what truly is you. Many people would say, I can't stop thinking, I have many problems to solve. This is also a point in the book, and the author responds that problems are created by thoughts, requiring time to exist. In the reality of the present moment, they cannot exist. Now, if you focus on the present and tell me, right now, what's your problem? The problem is never the problem. You can do what you can right now or accept them. But often we don't choose either. We opt to repeatedly think about the problem, adding unnecessary emotions and worries. You have numerous problems, but now you can only do one thing. Find out what that is. This book also introduces the concept of acceptance. The surrender experiment introduced this concept as well. Acceptance isn't giving up but going along with nature, most importantly recognizing that you can't resist or overreact to events. They are merely events, just the path leading to your true identity, helping you realize you're not an isolated entity, not just this body, but you and the universe are interconnected. You have everything already, you can become anyone, and are not limited by worldly labels. Embracing all experiences is acceptance. Acceptance is the only reasonable thing. Without these things you wouldn't long for what's truly yours. Painful experiences drive you to accept, bringing you to the level of having nothing. Only then do you become aware of what you truly have. Suffering is the best thing that can happen to you. The most powerful method of spiritual practice is diving deep into every experience, observing thoughts arising and fading during meditation, observing nature in action. Our bodies are the same, continuously reborn in new forms. The book states die before you die. When you're aware of the essence of everything, when you realize you're the observer behind the thoughts, you're the eternal essence, what dies is your name, image, and illusion. You are no longer confined by identity, thoughts, or this world. You have transcended duality and recognized the connection with everything. You have compassion for others, no longer wish to harm anyone, and don't think you're a victim anymore. You no longer think only you are right, you transcend time, return to the present, and are creating the future. How do you know you've accepted? When you no longer ask questions. How do you know you've awakened? When you no longer seek help from outside. The book emphasizes that all of our relationships, from love, family to friends, become deeper and more meaningful when we're truly present. The wholeness in each moment, The sincere attention given to others will create a more solid and lasting connection. True relationships only occur when you're fully present in the moment. All deep connections and love only arise from the awareness of the present moment. One of the core messages of the book is letting go. Eckhart Tolle emphasizes that true freedom only appears when we let go of expectations, unrealistic desires, and dependency on outcomes. When we let go, we will no longer be controlled by external factors but will feel the inner peace. Letting go doesn't mean losing, but opening up space for freedom and peace. When you let go, you will feel a profound liberation from within. Conclusion. The Power of Now is a book that helps readers awaken and find inner peace by living fully in the present. Rather than chasing worries about the future or regrets from the past, Tolle encourages us to awaken to every moment of life, thereby opening the door to true freedom, liberation, and happiness. This is an inspiring book, helping you explore the spiritual depth within yourself. That's today's share from our great book review. We hope our sharing can help you find purpose in life, live as you want. If you enjoy the content we share today, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell. See you in the next video. Goodbye.